I will do a recap.
Recording has started, and this is like a continuation from the previous session. And we were talking about Sachin Sir, the founder of PISA. He has a strong message for the youth. Please get out of your comfort zone because comfort can lead to boredom. And there's a very famous saying by Sri Ravi Shankar is that if your hands are empty, it means you are not occupied. He said this thing. You always need to either if you're giving a lecture or a podcast, your hands are still occupied, they are moving. But do not mistake it with the phone. That if my phone is in the hands, then I'm genuinely busy. Only unless and until one is using social media to sell something, to promote something, or to create a meaningful podcast, then it is part of the work. What do you think?
I agree with you, Krishiv. It's very important to be busy, to be doing something. Um, Very few people um are entitled to enter a forest and be quiet for the rest of their life. Rest of us have to work. We must work. Otherwise, there is no possibility of growth for us. So, coming back to the to very interesting theme which you started, that what message do I have for young people? And as I said, these things which I'm sharing are are a message to me also. I'm also I don't think that I've become so old that I've gone beyond this thing. I still need to observe these ideas and be careful about how I live. And so the first thing which I said was about we should never try to live somebody else's life. We should live our own life because this life is the only thing which we have. This is our only capital. Everything else will be taken away from us. But this is the life which we have. This is the only capital which we have. And we have got every right to gamble with this capital. We should, I mean, whatever we want to do, we should be doing that rather than ending up with regrets that I could have done this, I could have done that, but I did not. And second thing, which is very important, is that all our memorable uh, moments are full of discomfort. As I said, that my happiest memories are those climbing days when I climbed two peaks in near Gangotri area. They were like 20,000 feet. Now, when I look back, I feel very happy about those achievements. But when I was doing it, I was very uncomfortable. I was very tired. I was hungry. I was cold, and I was wet. So one has to live life, and living life means stepping out of comfort zone. Otherwise, you can live a very safe and secure life, but a very boring life too. It can be very boring life. The third thing which I want to share now, over the years which I have realized in my own life, that some of my deepest regrets come from the fact that I believed too much in my own mind. Whatever my mind said, I blindly believed it. So if my mind said, you stammer, you cannot do post graduation, and I believed it, and I didn't try to do post graduation after doing my MBBS. And now I am learning everything, doing everything. Now I realize that stammering is no disqualification for anything. You can do almost anything. You can become an actor, you can become a doctor, you can become a president of a country. But at that time, when I was young, my mind said this and I believed it blindly. So, number three thing which I would like to remind myself that I should always be a little skeptical in a very healthy way of whatever my mind says to me. If my mind says you are looking very handsome, I should be reasonably skeptical. I should remind myself that handsome is who handsome does. Looking handsome is not enough. I should be acting also in a handsome way. So, in the same way, if your mind says you're too tired, you can't do it, let's do it tomorrow. You should be skeptical. You should say, why can't I do it now? If I study another 1 hour, am I going to die? What is going to happen? What can happen? So one should challenge one's own mind and one's own assumptions because our mind has been programmed to save us at any cost. So when we give up that fear of dying, we can do a lot more than we can dream of. Our mind is trained like a nanny. A nanny will not let a child get away out of her sight because nanny thinks that the child will come to harm. Child can fall in a ditch, child can swallow something and choke. So our mind treats us like that baby. Our mind is the nanny, and this nanny says, no, 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 you have done enough studies, now go to sleep. No, 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 you have just started eating. You can have one more leg of chicken. So our mind always, uh, underestimates us. And so therefore it is very important that we don't blindly accept whatever our mind says. We should have a healthy skepticism about the inner thoughts or inner intuition, inner assumptions. Stammerers, as you know, stammerers often have this kind of thing that in office if two people are talking, the mind will immediately say, "Oh, they're talking about your stammering," right? And this is how we fall in that stuttering mindset trap. We think everybody is thinking about us. Everybody is discounting us. Everybody dislikes us because we stammer. So these are all assumptions generated by mind and our mistake to believe it implicitly. So, what is your opinion on this? What do you think? Does our
Well,
mind always speak
yeah,
the
the
truth?
mind. I feel that the mind is trying to protect, which I feel is also necessary. But then everything has a limit. There are some things that are risky, but if you do that, you will learn. And then there are some things that have an element of risk, but those things are uh, fool, uh, uh, foolish. Like,
Yes.
if I'm on the 20th floor and I just get a thrill that, let me jump and experience and see what happens, that would be a foolish because there's uh, uh, there's a lack of a process. But
Yes.
if you're climbing a 6,000-meter peak, there's a clear process that can take days, and maybe in your case, it took you about two about 2 weeks. So doing things that involve risk for a prolonged period, that's where the learnings are going to come,
Yes.
rather than taking a really high short term risk, like, let me jump from the 20th floor and see. The cause and effect is short term. It will
Yes.
immediately uh, cause harm, and you may not even be alive to use the lessons. But in
Yes.
case of
And
planting, yes,
yes. But I would say that if you want to jump from the 20th story, at least have a bungee cord tied around your waist.
yes,
Because people do bungee jumping.
yes, yes,
And when they do bungee jumping, initially they are very frightened.
yeah.
But after the jump, they feel so happy because they have conquered that
A
inborn fear
fear,
of heights, that
exactly.
fear. So I think there's a give and take between growth and between safety and growth. You can
Yeah,
be very safe and not grow safety at all. I mean, there is a give and take between the two,
yeah,
and one has to decide where is the sweet point for that very person. I mean, we all have our own sweet point on this spectrum
yes,
that where I want to have some security in life, some safety in life also, and at the same time I want to grow, so I want to travel.
yes.
Yeah, right? So safe, so secure that I have stopped growing, or am I risking too much in the name of growing up? That
Yeah,
my life, that basic life itself has become very insecure. So one has to find a sweet point, a sweet spot um, between security and growth. I read a quotation somewhere that many people uh, uh, bargain growth for security. Too many people are bargaining growth for security. They have a secure life, but they are not growing. And of course, the reverse can also be true. Some people become very reckless. They live a very dangerous life. That also is not very good. As you said, driving a bike without a helmet, not a
yes,
good idea. Jumping off from a 20-story building, thinking that I'm a Superman, I will fly off. That also is not a good idea. So we have to strike a balance between the two. So that is one thing. And the next thing which I want to share, because now as I'm growing older, I'm realizing this, especially after losing my partner. I'm become aware of this thing that we should never measure our success in terms of physical or material achievements with no reference to human relationships. We
so
should
you're
always
saying the
we should always
relation,
think of achievement. We should always think of our achievement in terms of human relationship first, and only then material achievements. Yeah, go on.
bonus. So if you would, this is a question that just came into my mind. Health, relationships, and career. What do you think is the number one source of happiness, then second, and then third? Health,
I would say
relationships, and
health
career.
and relationship, they both come very, I mean, they both fight for the top one position. Sometimes I think health is important. Sometimes I think relationships are more important than even health. Sometimes it's, to me, it strikes like
right.
that. Say, for example, your child is sick, and doctor has said that because of cancer, she is going to live only 6 months. Think of that father. Should that father continue going to gym instead of spending that 1 hour with the child?
Yeah, that is
Huh?
valid
So
point.
sometimes it seems as if health is important. Sometimes it seems that human relationships are very important, and career comes only after that. So I would say all three are important. All three are important, but the relationships are very important. Health is very important, and career, of course, is the next most important thing. Uh, but in the final analysis, I would say that, and I don't say that these are mutually antagonistic ideas. I'm not saying that that if you build up your career, you have to give up on relationships or on your health. I think one can find a balance between these three things. One can, pay attention to one's health, sorry, one's career, and also their our relationships. And as I grow older, I realize this thing that it's very important to have good friends around you. You should have friends whom you can call in the middle of night and trust that they will respond. If you don't have such friends, then your life uh, is pretty empty. There's emptiness. And many people began to understand this thing during COVID lockdown. During COVID lockdown, people realized that even though I'm living in my beautiful house, I've got everything which I need. I've got all the food, everything, but there's no one to talk to. I can't invite my friend to come and see me. Then they became aware that we are intensely social beings. We may be economical beings also. Economy is important to us. Politics is important to us. Technology is important to us. But social dimension of our psyche is very deeply rooted. It's undeniable. You can live without your phone. You can live without water or food couple of hours, maybe a day or two. You can have a long fast. But if you think that there's no one who cares for you, or there's no one for whom you care, there's no caring. You don't care for anyone. The world doesn't care for you. That kind of life can become very unbearable, very unbearable. So we need to pay attention to our relationships, parents, spouse, children, friends, society, next door neighbors, colleagues at work. All these are important relationships which we must nurture.
What's the line that we need to draw with the relations and society so that we don't end up living somebody else's life? I'm connecting that to
The
the
first point,
first point.
yeah,
Yeah.
the first point. You are very right. That's a very good observation that the line between serving our social nature and our tendency to emulate others, that line is very fine. It's quite possible that in order that when we become social, at the same moment we are opening ourselves up to social influences also. That's very true. I mean, if I try to be social with a bunch of friends who like to open up their bottles and drink, then chances are that I will also, feel like having a peg or a bottle with them because to my limited understanding, that's the way of becoming social. And I think, and I believe that happens a lot in India as well as in West, that people socialize, which means they drink beer together. Whether beer is good for their health or not, that is that doesn't bother anybody. But they are having a good social time. So I think we need to differentiate that good social time must have a dimension of responsibility, wisdom. We should be wise about our social interactions. I mean, uh, without wisdom, trying to become social can really lead us into that what you said, that we start living somebody else's life. I visit you or you visit me. I'm fond of smoking, so you also light up in my presence. I'm fond of drinking. You like my company, so we spend some time together. You also start drinking. You are a wizard in the stock market. I'm your friend, and I'm so influenced by you, so impressed by you that I also start playing stock market and lose a lot of my savings. So we have to be social, but with certain amount of wisdom about it. Being social like a teenager and being social like an adult man has to be different, has to appear different, has to be different. But on the other hand, this also is very important that many of us we become so caught up in achieving our personal dreams or ambitions that we've got no time for anybody else in our life, not even children, not even spouse, not even parents. And after 10 years of hard work, you achieve all your career goals. But you find that the child in the home doesn't recognize you as a father.
Ah,
Your friends have become strangers.
that
Your
time
batchmates,
is lost.
time is
Those
lost. Yes, that,
10
yeah,
years lost. You
yeah,
will never
yes,
get them back. That's the,
yeah.
I think that's the consequence.
Very true. Very true. So I think it's important to strike a balance and be wise about it. I mean, there's very nice saying, love people, but love them wisely. Love yourself, but love yourself wisely. So
How
there has to
to
be,
love wisely. I think this is going to be another session, but if you can share little, uh, yeah.
I think wisdom comes only by living. When we live and when we reflect on our life, then we learn these lessons. Wisdom is not something which you can, pick up by reading books or by listening to podcast. Even though we are making a podcast, but still, I think I must say this that living life consciously uh, uh, it generates a kind of wisdom. In every one of us, we all have our own kind of wisdom, big or small. We all are wise people in our own ways, and that wisdom has come by only by living. We have made mistakes, we have taken wrong decisions, we have suffered, we have been in pain, we have come out of that, and that's how we have learned things. So, so I think we have to strike a balance between being social and at the same time not forgetting what we want to do in life. If I want to start a self-help association for people who stammer, I should not get carried away from that. And as a doctor, many people said this thing that if you worked for people suffering from HIV/AIDS, I could understand. But what is this nonsense about working for people who stammer? Do you mean to say stammering is such a big issue? They could not believe it that I'm devoting so much time to TISA. I'm devoting so much time to the cause of stammering. They could never empathize with that because for them stammering was a non-issue. If I was working with people living with HIV/AIDS, they could have understood that. They could respect that. but I was true to my vision, my dream, and it was an old dream with me. When I was a child, I had this dream that someday when I grow up and when I figured out what stammering is all about, I'll do something about it.
Actually,
So,
ISA, which is
hmm,
which was initiated by you, I spent the whole lockdown. I was very lonely. So I used to, during that period, I used to wake up with the purpose that I'm going to join uh, the 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 8 p.m. evening Google Hangout. For a brief amount of time, my only purpose was to reach, that, and I think that, especially during that time, during the
yes,
lockdown, it gave me life. So for me,
yes,
ISA is where new life and new beginnings uh, took place, and I've made some lifelong friends now.
yeah, yeah,
And when I came to India in 2023, some of these people have invited me to their weddings. Another friend I have, he and me now we speak every now and then. So that's the kind of community relationships. Isa gave me few relationships. First, they were built in the virtual setting, and then eventually I even met most of these people, and some of the most beautiful people. It made me form this community which contributed positively to my mental health. So I think relationship and health, as you pointed, these are linked with each other, and there's a constant tug of war between which one is essential.
mhm. There was a tie between them, tiebreaker.
I'd say in the early morning, health can come first, so that in the
Yes,
afternoon and in the evening, there's time to be spent with your, with your relationships, parents, children, spouse, friends, neighbors. Isa,
yes, yes. Yeah. I remember you from those days when you used to attend the hangout. And first time when you told me that you are from a island off the coast of Spain, I was quite surprised.
actually, many people don't even know that
Granada.
my island exists. On the world map,
Wow.
it is not even seen. So,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the Isa, you
Mhm.
and a lot of friends have learned that there is a piece of land in the middle of the Atlantics, and that is
Yes,
where I
yes.
live. But I'm hoping that one day you will come and you'll see that there is something known as Canary Islands.
Surely, I would love to do that someday, God willing. Let us see. Let us see. Definitely, definitely. So, coming back to your theme,
Yes, sir.
what we can, offer as advice to our younger self, and so the last thing which I think is very important is we sometimes postpone living. When my partner Marian was alive, at that time I was making this kind of mistake that okay, we will go for a holiday, but not now, next year, or we will do this not now, but next year. So we were postponing a lot of things, and now the only regret in my life is why did I postpone those things? We could have done it together easily, and now I've got plenty of time, but we can never do it because she's no more in a physical form. And leaving aside the relationship with the spouse, those kind of things, even for a for an individual, available to us. Present moment is the only moment when which is available to us when we can do something. So postponing it or having regrets about it is a wastage of time. So if you want to do a short course on economics or if you want to do a short course on Python, you should not postpone it. You should do it now. If you want, for example, if you've got a dream of writing a short story, if you want to write a little novel, if you want to learn painting, you should never postpone it. You should do it now. Because that email will take exactly 15 minutes to be written. If you've got 1 hour, that email will take 1 hour to be written. So work extends to fill the time. So time can stretch uh, to any limits as long as we are willing to start a task. I've been trying to write something, but I've been postponing it. Every morning I say, today I must sit down and write for 1 hour, and I don't do it. And sometimes, mind plays tricks. Mind says, no, 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 no. Right now, you are not in a creative space. You need a creative space to be able to visualize and to write things. This is not the time to write. And, honestly, inside my heart, I know that right now, while I'm working in this hospital, this is the best time when I can do something, when I can write. I don't have to cook my own food, and there's a canteen which gives us good food. I've got all kind of support systems. Morning hours are totally undisturbed. This is a beautiful place. There's no big city nearby. There's greenery all around. I can simply sit in the balcony at 6 a.m. and start writing, but I'm postponing it. So this is one thing which I'm learning that many of us postpone life, postpone living. That is very unfortunate. That is nobody should do. But human nature, I still have to master it. I still have to learn this art. So this is what I think
One more
that
thing that just
yeah.
came into my mind just now during this 2026, in the times of we are living now in the times of artificial intelligence. What is your relationship with artificial intelligence, and wh- what should be the line that we should draw with this tool?
I'm using ChatGPT, Gemini uh, quite a lot for as a good assistant. So, for example, if I want to make recently I had to make a little video about intermittent fasting, about diabetes, how you can manage diabetes without using drugs. So, I wanted to talk about um, high intensity interval training, high intensity interval training, this kind of exercise. It gives you the benefit of 1 hour workout in just 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So I had to talk about HI hit, I had to talk about intermittent fasting, all these things. So I have to make a little video in Hindi for lay people incorporating these ideas. In a video editing software, I animated those photographs. Gemini used my script into a voiceover script, translated that into Hindi. Then I went to another AI which converted text into speech. So I then used that audio with these animated still photographs, and I made a beautiful video, like 3 minutes, explaining that idea, that how you can control type 2 diabetes without drugs, simply by intermittent fasting and HIIT, high intensity interval training daily. So I'm using AI quite a lot, but but the only thing which we have to be careful, that in fact we cannot and we should not um, totally, hand over the task, our creativity to AI. You cannot ask AI to write a novel or write a poem. Maybe it can do that. Maybe you can do it, and maybe AI can write a novel, but you should still play your creative role. So AI has to be used as an assistant, which is which is good at doing repetitive tasks for you, which can which can do the editing, which takes like 1 hour in 10 minutes. You write a long email, and the AI can check the grammar, can assess the readability, can analyze the ambiguity. Sometimes this happens because English for us is a second language. Even in Hindi, sometimes you can't express yourself very clearly. So even if I am writing in my own mother tongue, there's no harm in asking AI to look over it, to go through it once and do analysis, change some sentence structure here and there. So that way, I think AI is a very useful thing. But of course, it should be used wisely and ethically. AI should not be used to harass people, to create um, AI videos to defame someone, or those kind of things are not good. I mean, that is not good. AI should be used responsibly. And I also believe that you cannot bypass AI. AI is here to stay. AI is going to be a part of our lives. And so, therefore, we have to use it responsibly. We have to use it wisely. And we have to develop structures to control, because the AI is a powerful tool. So, so unethical use is highly likely. And to prevent that, we should have structures in place, guidelines, safety net, and AI can help in all these things, I believe.
That was a very insightful session. I think there is so much wisdom, so many points. So I will just take a few seconds to read out my short note. One, don't live another person's life, live yours. Get out of that comfort zone, which includes your social media and online apps.
Yeah.
We don't easily believe the mind and don't postpone life.
Yes.
And that is what we would like to, in a in a nutshell, to share. Yes, sir. Yes,
And, and and value human relationships more than
absolutely.
material achievements.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it is the human relationships the networking that many a times gets you life's biggest breakthroughs, biggest opportunities. But those relationships should be maintained for the sake of maintaining rather than for the sake of that if I maintain that if I'm in your good books tomorrow, I might seek out something. That should not be the essence, but it should be more like I am supportive, respectful, because how uh, that's what I've learned, and that's how I am as a person with other humans.
Yeah, very true, very true. I mean, humans, there's something sacred about human beings. There's something sacred in me, something sacred in you.
Yes,
And therefore, human beings should not be reduced to resources.
exactly. My grand mom, she's no more, but I
Uh,
think a few months, few weeks before she left, she told me this one line that I will always remember, that uh, that in my times relationships were uh, valued, not so much money. Today money is more valued to purchase relationships, and I think she saw that massive change in because over the last 50, 60 years, world has completely changed. The rules of the 1960s will no longer work in 2026. Even the good side of how people used to live in the 60s and 70s, I think mm, uh, till the 90s, things were pretty fine, and then things started to rapidly change. The 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and now we are in the 2020s. Things are rapidly changing, and that's why I felt the need to have this conversation, maybe to remind mm, myself and to you all of what the essence of life uh, uh, is, and Sir has described it in a detail and with a lot of stories.
Yeah, society is changing. A lot of technological changes have destabilized everything.
Yes,
But I think human civilization is very good at regaining balance after some
yes,
years,
I
a
think
couple of
yes,
centuries. Hana? I mean,
yes,
remember when industrial revolution happened, society was in a flux. Everything was rapidly
yeah,
changing. Everybody was concerned, worried, what will happen. But see, after 40, 50 years, society got stabilized again. Again, now AI is there. Everybody is very concerned. AI will take jobs
yeah,
away. AI will do this. AI will do that. Robots will take over the whole human society. All these fears are flying around. But I'm quite sure that in 20, 30, 40 years, again, things will get settled,
yes,
people will get stabilized, and our fears will go away. We will have structures in place to manage things wisely. So I don't think we need to worry too much, but of course, we have to do our homework.
Yes,
And our homework, we know our homework. We all need to create a space and a time when we can be silent and go within, think about these questions, meditate on our own life, reflect on our own life, develop our own wisdom. So we all can, we can change world, but in our own little way. We have to. If I can change myself, you can change yourself. Then world will automatically get changed,
yeah,
because world consists of Sachins and Krishivs and other people. So if we all take responsibility for our own homework, that I will start my day in a calm, wise fashion with a little silence, little meditation, little chanting, or whatever works for me, I'm sure the world will be a better place.
yes. And I think that ever since 2020, this new wave and this surge of yoga, mindfulness, spirituality
Yeah,
is back. It's like so
yeah,
many people literally got a wake up call that all this that you've been
yes,
hustling, one virus you can't even see
yes,
will banish everything, but your mindfulness, your health
yes,
will
yes,
keep you in form, in
yes.
shape.
Yeah. I think in that sense, we should really thank COVID epidemic. It has made us stop and think.
It made the whole world come to a full stop and
Yes.
dot so that the world is now emerged. And I totally see that most people that I meet, I can clearly see the level of humility. People are more mindful, more conscious. A lot of people I knew, there's a pre-COVID person, and after COVID, I could clearly see these people are now a little more down to earth than 2019. So I can saw, that change, and it only comes when such a massive crisis takes place. The main thing is that what we learn from that should not be lost, because otherwise we'll be doing the same mm, mistakes. And who likes to repeat the same? If you want to make a new mistake, it should be something that you've not done uh, previously, so that you can learn from that.
So very, very, very true. So, Krishiv, I really want to thank you for this conversation. And I've known you for all these years, and your communication keeps on improving.
Thank
More
you.
than that, you are channeling your energies and your communication into these very creative ways, like producing this podcast. So, thank you so
It
much
all
for this opportunity.
started with a TISA member who him really well, and I just told him back in 2020 that I don't know how it's going to work, but I want to start a podcast. So the safest thing for me to do is let me talk about stammering, because that's the safest thing. I'm not going to feel shy to speak. And after 6 months of make creating the podcast, then I felt speech is okay, but I think I have more to share than just the speech. speech. And then I started to dig into personal development, spirituality, business, and so many. There's a long range of subjects.
Uh, um, Krishiv, I must go now.
Thank you so much.
I thank you so much for this great conversation. And when
Thank you,
podcast
sir.
comes out, share the link with me. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, Krishiv. Take
Thank you.
care. Good night.
Thank you.